Greetings and welcome to this training on VPE, Vice President Education. I believe that the most important place to start a training like this would definitely be to say, well, what is the purpose of a VPE? What's the purpose of Vice President Education? It's important for you to understand the big picture first. When you look at a company, when you look at business or companies or whatever it is where there's a flow of money coming in and out, services being rendered, there are mainly basically two types of businesses taking place. The one is labeled for profit and the other one is labeled for non-profit. I don't like that labeled for non-profit because everything should make a profit. But the non-profit's task and purpose is that profit is not placed into somebody's pocket, but reinvested into whatever that company, organization, trust, association, or whatever that is, what its purpose is, or who its beneficiaries are. Now, within the Toastmasters environment, we fall under the non-profit, non-for-gain. Now, in a company that runs for profit, you will have a board of directors, and they would definitely be the major shareholders. You could have a company that's listed on the stock exchange. Then you would have numerous numbers of members, and these members all have a share in the income, the shares that come in the profits. They also have a share in the loss as well. Now, in companies where there's an executive, where there's an income that is shared amongst the members, there your executive has the highest power. They're the ones that make the decisions. They have meetings, they make the decisions in those meetings. Those decisions have to be executed by everybody down the line. Whereas in a non-profit organization, the table turns around. Now, it's not the executive that makes the decisions, but it's the executive that has to research possibilities and make proposals to the members. And within the Toastmasters Club, the highest decision maker is the member. And that's the reason why everything we do in Toastmasters is about creating a great member experience. And hey, as an executive, you are also a member. That means you are creating a great experience for yourself. It's one of those things like, you point a finger at somebody and there's three pointing back at you. So this is what makes it so precious, is that when you get to be part of an executive team on Toastmasters, you actually have an opportunity, one, to learn for yourself what it is to be in that particular leadership position. And two, you have the opportunity to bring in positive changes and really create excellence. And who's it going to benefit? It's going to benefit yourself. Of course, it'll benefit the entire club. But that is the beauty of it. So the harder you work, the smarter you work, it all comes back to you. You are going to reap the benefit of it. Okay, now that still didn't explain the VPE, so let's go to the VPE. Now, in these executives that you have of companies, you would normally have the president, and you would have a financial department, which is in our case the treasurer, that would be head of that. You will have the person that deals with the legal matters, that's the secretary of the company. Some people think a secretary is just somebody that types the letters and takes minutes. That's not. The secretary of the company has to deal with all the legalities of the company, keeps the constitution and all kinds of things like that. And this is not about this is not about secretary, but I just needed you to understand. Then you would find your PR and your marketing departments that slot into that. But then there's operations, what that company is all about. And that's where VPE comes in. And so Toastmasters International, they did some research over the years and they said, okay, if we're going to have a great club where the people can have the best member experience, so that if I've paid for a membership, I'm going to get the highest value back. These are the goals that a club needs to go for. They need to accomplish those goals because that will ensure a great member experience. Now, what are those goals? I'm sure you've heard of DCP. No, it's not a gargle. It's not TCP. It's DCP, Distinguished Club Program. It's a program that they have put together that has 10 indicators. These 10 indicators are divided, and they are divided in such a way that you have the administration goals, you have financial goals, you have training goals, but you have operational goals, and those are your educational goals. And out of the 10 goals, 6 of them are the goals that VPE is responsible to help every member in the club work through their education in order to accomplish those 6 goals on the DCP program. How do we do that? Well, that's what VPE training is all about. So this portion today was purely to help you understand what are the main two different categories of companies or running businesses about, how their profits work, and the power of the different executives that they actually have in order to operate the companies. Now that you know that, and you understand that your focus as VPE is the education of the company or the club, and you have to make sure that every member is busy progressing through their education, that it's quality education, that people aren't just running through speeches because they want to tick off another speech and they're trying to get their pathways done. No, that people are reading the objectives of a project, they apply those objectives, and they give you a presentation of what they've learned according to the project objectives. And if it doesn't match now we're not there to say, that project did not work, you've got to redo it. That's not who we are. But who we are would be to say, have a look at your objectives. Do you believe that, in all honesty, that the project that you just presented now is a good reflection of those objectives? Sometimes somebody could say yes, because that's what they see. And then it's your job to, in a very warm way, to show them how it doesn't and what you would suggest to make it happen, and give them the option to redo the project without being the schoolmaster and say, you will redo. But that you would encourage them and say, you know what, if you would like to have the best value of your investment of member fees, you suggest that they redo the project. What did we see today? The purpose of VPE is to be able to take a broader picture of the entire club and see how can you impart into each club member general information that they need to know in order to be able to function within the club and be able to go through their projects. You need to be able to understand how Pathways works, how all the different paths fit together, how to be able to get to a distinguished Toastmaster, DTM. I trust that this was valuable to take you further on an exciting journey. Our next training is to see how does the VPE fit into the entire role of the club when we start with a person visiting the club and we finally take them through a road and they become a member, where you have to begin to educate them. I look forward to seeing you at our next training. Cheers.